Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into the essential research on a breed that is, well, so iconic we almost take it for granted. We were doing a deep dive into the Labrador Retriever.
Yeah.
Our sources, they all confirm that stellar reputation. You know, the loyal family pet, the gentle companion, the super intelligent worker.
Right.
And it all seems to rest on their trainability, that eagerness to please. But the mission today is to get past that, glossy photo and really understand the functional DNA that makes them tick.
Exactly. We're not just here to say, oh, they're good dogs. We're figuring out why they are the way they are. And the thing is, the lab's popularity, it's not an accident.
No.
It's a direct result of, centuries of breeding for a very specific temperament. A dog that's enthusiastic, sure, but also biddable, energetic, but gentle.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning, because the name itself is a classic misnomer, Labrador Retriever.
Right.
But the sources are quick to point out their origins. They aren't in Labrador at all.
Not even close. No, they came from Newfoundland way back in the early 1800s.
Uh-huh.
Their direct ancestor was this dog called the St. John's water dog, which is now extinct. And when you look into it, you realize they were literally forged by the sea, built for incredibly demanding work.
Let's talk about that original job. What were they doing for those fishermen on those, I imagine, cold, rugged coasts?
I mean, they were essential. They were functional assistants. Picture it. Freezing temperatures, rough seas. These dogs weren't fetching tennis balls.
Wow.
They were retrieving fish that had fallen off hooks, swimming into icy water to do it. They were hauling in heavy fishing nets, carrying ropes between boats. It was heavy, vital work.
So we're seeing direct evolutionary pressure in their modern build and instincts then.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that history, it explains so much about the traits we just assume are part of the package.
It really does. That demanding history translates directly to two key traits that modern owners see every single day. First, their trademark, almost uncontrollable love for water. It's coded into them.
And the second one, which is so important for their modern jobs, is this specialized soft mouth. How does a dog built to haul heavy nets develop such a, gentle grip?
Well, it was a necessity. It had to happen. When you're retrieving a delicate fish or a bird, you can't puncture it. You can't damage the goods.
Right.
So that soft mouth, it's a biological tool, not just a preference. It's why they can carry an egg without breaking it. It's why they're perfect for detection work where they can't disturb what they're finding.
That really frames their toughness, doesn't it? Built for the freezing sea. So just to cover the basics for everyone, the AKC classifies them in the sporting group.
Which is spot on.
Medium to large dogs, that dense, double water-resistant coat, and of course the three main colors, black, chocolate, and then yellow, which that can range from a light cream all the way to a fox red.
And that functionality, that's the foundation, but their personality, that's the whole building. They're just so affectionate, incredibly loyal, and famously good with kids and other pets.
And that's because they were bred to be partners.
Exactly. Cooperative partners with people.
That partnership idea seemed to be what fuels their incredible trainability. We're talking about highly intelligent dogs with this intense desire to please and, maybe more importantly, a desire to work.
Precisely. And this trainability, it goes way beyond just, sit and stay. That sharp mind and that drive are why they are the go-to breed for these highly specialized careers.
Like assistance dogs.
Assistance dogs, guide dogs, therapy animals, high-stakes search and rescue. They don't just learn a command, they commit to a job. They genuinely need a purpose.
They definitely need an outlet. Our sources are very clear that this enthusiasm for work means a super high energy level, especially when they're young.
Yes, they're full of vigor, but owners have to be realistic. The common timeline for them to really settle down to mature is usually somewhere between 2 and 4 years old.
It's a long puppyhood.
It's a significant commitment. For a few years, you are managing a dog with the energy of a marathon runner and the mental capacity of a genius toddler.
It sounds like the perfect working dog, which almost always means there's a catch. And in our sources, there's a huge note about how their temperament can actually work against their own health.
And this is the critical caution. We absolutely have to talk about the lab's relationship with food.
They have an extreme, almost legendary food drive.
And legendary is a good word for it.
And it is a genuine double-edged sword. On the one hand, that food drive makes them fantastic for training. Positive reinforcement. Food is the ultimate currency.
Absolutely. But the downside, and this is a big one, it requires extreme vigilance from the owner. This drive means they rarely feel full. They will eat anything and everything.
So strict portion control is a must.
A total must. Because obesity is cited over and over as the single most common and most preventable health issue for the breed.
So if you get a lab, you're basically their full-time nutritionist. Why is weight management so critical for this breed specifically?
It comes down to the structural issues they're already prone to. An overweight lab puts so much extra stress on their joints, which makes them way more susceptible to things like hip and elbow dysplasia. Every single extra pound translates to a huge amount of stress on those joints. So managing their diet, it isn't optional. It's directly tied to preventing pain later in life.
That's a perfect transition into their overall needs.
Yeah.
This is a working breed. There are not couch potatoes.
Not at all. They require a serious daily investment. An adult lab needs, say, 1 to 2 hours of pretty vigorous exercise every single day.
We're not talking about a leisurely stroll.
No. Brisk walks, maybe some jogging, serious off-leash play, and of course retrieving games. And remember that love of water. Swimming is one of the best low-impact exercises for them. Great for burning energy, easy on the joints.
But their intelligence means that physical exercise alone just won't cut it.
Never.
Without mental stimulation, that genius toddler energy,
Yeah.
it turns destructive. Chewing, digging, just bouncing off the walls indoors, you have to feed their brain too.
Mental enrichment is completely non-negotiable. Owners have to incorporate challenging activities. Puzzle toys, scent work, which is fantastic for them, or structured canine sports.
Like agility.
Agility, fly ball, dock diving, things that channel that drive into a productive job. They need to solve problems.
Okay, let's circle back to those health commitments, especially the joint issues. Hip and elbow dysplasia. This is where responsible ownership in puppyhood really pays dividends.
Yes, and beyond diet, we have to stress proper exercise timing. This is probably the most crucial veterinary recommendation we found. Owners must avoid strenuous, repetitive exercise like jogging on pavement until their growth plates are fully closed.
Okay, what exactly are growth plates and why is that so dangerous?
So growth plates are these areas of developing cartilage at the ends of the long bones in puppies. They're very soft.
Softer than mature bones.
Much softer. And if you subject them to that high-impact repetitive stress before they're fused, you can cause real irreparable damage. That damage directly increases the risk of developing painful dysplasia and arthritis later.
And when do they typically close?
Usually no serious long-distance running until they're about a year old, sometimes even later, depending on the dog.
That is such an essential piece of information. And beyond joints, are there other inherited conditions to be aware of?
Definitely. Owners should be aware of certain inherited eye problems like progressive retinal atrophy and some heart conditions. Regular vet checkups with proactive screening are really key.
And finally, we have to talk about the hair. That dense, water-resistant coat. It's not low maintenance.
Prepare for hair. Because of that double coat, they are heavy, year-round shedders.
Oh boy.
Weekly brushing is the bare minimum. You just have to accept that dog hair is going to be a part of your life. It's the trade-off for that amazing, functional coat.
So putting this all together, is a lab right for you? It's clear that the rewards are huge, but this is a breed that demands a serious, active commitment.
Total commitment. But they return it tenfold. They thrive when their physical and mental energy needs are met day in and day out.
The sources really paint a clear picture of the ideal owner. First, an active family or individual. Someone who can truly dedicate 1 to 2 hours a day to exercise and attention.
For sure.
Second, you have to be interested in training. Not just basic manners, but seeing them as a partner who needs a job, whether that's advanced skills or canine sports.
And third, you just have to be okay with shedding and be a dedicated manager of their diet. If you can handle the strict weight control, the intense exercise, and the mental puzzles, the Labrador Retriever is just an exuberant, loyal, joyful companion.
So what does this all mean? The biggest takeaways are clear. Their surprising origin as a fisherman's assistant explains their resilience in that soft mouth.
Yeah.
They have extreme trainability because they need a function. And for you, the modern owner, managing that food drive is absolutely vital.
And here's a final thought for you to consider. Since their original role was so functional, hauling nets, retrieving ropes in the water, how might an owner today best honor that deep, historic working purpose? Beyond just simple fetch, how can you ensure their intellectual and physical need for function is fully satisfied in a world where they're often just a family pet?
Something to mull over. Use this knowledge, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.